Alrighty, so this video is going to go over how to do the roll hovering that you see people do in the 100% coinless categories, as well as some other places in some of the other main categories in the game. I'm going to go over how to do the trick, I'm going to go over some of the implementations, and I'm going to go over a lot of the mistakes I see people make when trying to learn how to do roll hover. So the first thing you want to do is I want to mention 2 to Tango is the best level to practice roll hovering in. The very beginning of the level, there's a spire point right here. This is where I'd recommend everyone practice roll hovering. It's very, very simple. If you fall down, you just land here and you'll be able to just jump up and retry it again very quickly. So this is definitely the place I recommend learning. A couple things I want to mention about roll hovering. Roll hovering is 2 inputs. It's circle triangle. That's all you need to know. You do not want to move your analog stick or your D-pad. If you try to move while in a roll hover, Sly will not roll hover. You will fall all the way down. So you cannot move during a roll hover. You need to be completely stationary. So how does a roll hover work? So a roll hover is as simple as rolling when Sly is in his spire point animation. So if I jump and press circle, you can see Sly goes into his spin, he does his spire jump, and then lands on the spire. But we can interrupt that by pressing roll. So if I jump, press circle, and then press triangle, you can see Sly was interrupted, and he was pulled out of his animation and fell through the spire. So this is actually one roll hover. This is exactly how you do roll hovers. This is one single roll hover, is XX circle triangle. So it's double jump and then circle triangle. And you want to make sure you're not holding triangle when you do this. You want to make sure you're just tapping triangle. So I sort of roll my thumb off of circle and hit triangle, and then I redo the roll again and again and again over and over. And this timing can be a little tricky to get used to at first, but I'm gonna try to hopefully help you guys figure out a simple way to go slow at first and then figure out how to get the height later. So you don't want to focus on getting height. What you want to focus on with a roll hover is just being able to sit in one spot and do the roll hover, staying in the air. If you can do this, you can roll hover. So like I said, a roll hover, all it is circle and then triangle. So if you land on a spire like this, what you can do is try to get 2 roll hovers in a row. So do XX to jump, just double jump, and then circle triangle, and then circle triangle. And you don't have to roll your thumb. You don't have to do any weird like hand positions. Just literally press circle and then triangle with your thumb so you can see how the animation works. So it's like XX, circle, triangle. And just see, you can even see how many you can get in one. So again, you just double jump and then circle, triangle, circle, triangle. I'm not doing any weird movements with my thumb. I'm literally just pressing the buttons fast. So just try to do like 2 or 3 of those and see if you can't get that down. So it should look something like this if you're practicing. And you can get probably up to like 10 of those, maybe even more. But if you can get a few, if you can get like 3 or 4 of them, I would say you're probably on the first step to success. So the next step is actually just the timing and actually gaining height from the roll hover. And this is where a lot of people have trouble, because obviously pressing circle and then triangle isn't that hard. Like anyone can do that, right? Anyone can do this, but it's a lot harder to do it when you want to actually gain height and actually go somewhere from the roll hover. So now I'm going to go over the timing. The timing you can see on my input viewer in the top left of the screen. You can copy this timing if that's easier for you, or you can try to listen to what I have to say and see if that is any better. But essentially this is what the timing should look like if you're doing the movement right. And this movement is at about 180 beats per minute. What I like to do is I like to count in my head. I like to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And every number that I say is a circle triangle input, which is a roll hover. So I sort of do it like this. I go double jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can kind of slow it down. You can speed it up, whatever works for you. It doesn't really matter. But the whole point is the timing and actually gaining the height. So like I said, if you can do this, just stationary like that by pressing circle and triangle with your thumb, then you should definitely be able to do the next step, which is pressing circle and triangle with your thumb in one succession instead of moving it back and forth between the buttons. And I'll show you how I do this now. As you can see in this video, this is how I hold my controller. I put my thumb over circle and triangle, and I use my knuckle part of my thumb for circle, and I use my fingernail part for triangle. and I sort of do it like this. This is like a slow-mo video of my my hand movement. And you can also use the claw grip for this as well. I don't recommend doing this. It's a little bit more inconsistent, but if you're used to playing claw, then you can do this. But I like to just do it this way. I like to just put my thumb over circle and triangle and then use both parts, my knuckle and my fingernail, to press circle and triangle. A lot of people have trouble with the height, gaining height, because they're holding triangle for too long. What you want to do is you want to make sure as soon as you tap triangle, you want to let go as soon as you tap triangle, and then you want to get right back on circle and do it again. So that's where a lot of people fail. They either press circle and miss the triangle input, or they hold triangle for too long and then miss the circle input. So it's very important that the circle and the triangle input come one right after the other, and you're not holding either of the two inputs. Mainly the triangle input. If you hold circle, it's not a massive deal. Holding triangle will make you fail, though. Holding circle might not necessarily make you fail. So that's not a huge issue. It's all about the triangle input. If you hold triangle, you'll be stuck in the roll animation for a little longer, and then inadvertently you won't be able to press circle to do your next roll hover. So that's how you roll hover. I really don't think there's much else to say here. It's really just up to you to practice this. It took me about an hour, roughly an hour, maybe a little less, to figure out how to get this consistently. It was very demoralizing at first to practice and keep failing over and over and over. But just try to have patience and slow it down. Work your way from slower to faster. You do not want to focus on getting height. You want to just focus on being able to hover in the air, just like this. If you can do this, you will be fine. To get height, all you have to do is do just that, but a little bit faster. So I'm going to do the same thing I just did, but just a little bit faster, and you'll see the full roll hover. And I can even go a little bit faster than this too. But there I went a little bit too fast, and you can see Sly wasn't out of his roll animation before I pressed circle, and I failed there. So I'm going to go a little bit too fast just to show you what that looks like. See how that the roll animation got stuck for a little long? I'll do it one more time. And if that happens, just slow it down, bring it back nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And just practice that timing, practice the movement. And when you're ready, let go, and then you can start moving. And you're good to go. And that is how you roll hover.